All right, that looks good on Restream. Let's see if it looks good on Twitch.
Are we
Hey,
live?
on Twitch?
We're on Twitch? We're on the internet?
We're on the
We
internet.
are on the internet. They let anybody
Hi,
on
Mom.
here.
Hi, Mom.
It's nice here. It's roomy.
Oh,
It's
it's playing
nice
ads
here.
for me. Oh
I
my
feel
God.
seen and heard.
Feel seen and heard.
That is the goal. To feel seen and heard.
It's good to be back.
Mhm.
Yeah, good
no
to
one
be
touched
back.
it here while we were gone, though. So I'll work on that, I guess.
I feel personally attacked over that one. It's my job to
Seen
clean.
and heard in all the wrong ways.
All the wrong ways, yeah. Well, folks, I brought for our adventures today. I brought an
Adventure hat.
I love it.
So ready to go. Except for it screws up my lighting, so buy adventure hat.
Aw.
It's there in spirit.
It's there in spirit. Well, it's still just right over there, so it's not far. Good to see you all again. Internet folks, good to see you as well. Hello and welcome back to this episode 16. I hope I called it 16 and not 15.
Yes, you did.
Oh, phew. This episode 16 of the Best Left Buried series. You join us on the back of coming off the back of our By Any Means miniseries, which hopefully some of y'all watched and some of y'all played in. So I think we're about ready to get going. How y'all feeling, folks?
Feeling
good.
Excited.
Good. Yeah, excited? Excellent.
Nervous.
Before we start, we want to do some it's been a while since we've done it, but we want to do some announcements. So I'm going to hope that without prepping any of you, all of you remember what you used to do at the beginning of the episode. And I'm going to hand you to start to Taya, who is playing
I think that's
Essie.
me. Absolutely. Yeah. So my name is Taya. I'm playing Essie Pike. And actually, I was thinking about our little intros beforehand. I was like, boy, it's been a while since I've done this. But my role is to tell you that you should come join our Discord page. We have so many things that we like to do there. First of all, it's just interacting with our fans on the day-to-day basis. We have a DM discussion on there where our very own Jason and then all of us have had a little experience DMing. We love to talk to other folks about what they're doing in their games versus just bouncing around ideas is often topics that we have, and that's a lot of fun. We also have a between the scenes where things that don't necessarily happen in our episodes live, they still happen, but over text. So please read those, especially right now. We're going into this with a lot of downtime, so there's a lot of chatter to read up on there. So we have character art that gets dropped there, a lot of things to check out. So please come. I'll drop a link to the Discord. Please join us.
Hello. I think I'm supposed to talk about social media. I'm Paula, and I play Kit. She's a little street thief rogue. And we would like you to please come join us on social media. We have many social media accounts. We've got a new one. I think we have Threads now. Is that right, Josh? Okay, awesome. So we have Twitter, we have Threads, we have Instagram, we have TikTok. So yeah, all of them each have their own little bit of interesting thing. Like TikTok would do like funny stuff on there. Twitter and maybe Threads, Josh handles like all of the announcements and staying up to date on things. And am I forgetting something? I don't know. But yeah, I think that's it. And all of those are the same handle at Heroes Die Show. So very easy to find us on all of the platforms. And yeah, that's it, I think.
Fantastic.
Hello. I'm Josh, and I'm playing Zagran Beltune, the half-drow, half-orc warlock, and I want to tell you about our Patreon. We certainly appreciate you guys helping keep the lights on by your donations every month, but we don't expect something for nothing. And so we always try to give you, every month we have a new release of something, and that can be a 5e module, it can be its own system. The most recent update is our Degens from Upcountry RPG that has a very fun pun/pop culture reference mechanic built into it. If you've ever seen the show Letterkenny, it's definitely inspired by their comedy. So it's definitely a fun game, but something new every month. We try to bring you something cool to your table in exchange for you helping keep cool stuff coming to our table. And so just head over to patreon.com/heroes die show and get all the cool stuff.
Nice. And Mike?
And I mean, let's talk about Big Cartel for a second. If you want to get some snazzy old merch, Tayak, I don't have my coffee cup with me, but we have our
I've got
very
you.
own Heroes Die coffee cup. It keeps your coffee extra spicy with the flirtation of demise just looming just right around the corner. You never know. You never know when it's going to drop out. But yeah, head on down to Big Cartel and represent your favorite D&D group in real life. That's us, in case you didn't know.
Yeah. Well, thanks, everybody. So speaking of saying thanks, let me say thanks to a bunch of folks, right? So first off, we appreciate everybody out there for joining us and watching. We love making the show, and we love when people watch, because then it, well, I don't know, it's just really good. It's really good to share this with all of you, and it's really fun to put on. So we certainly play it for ourselves, but it's really nice to know that some folks get enjoyment out of watching it as well. On top of that, I want to say thank you to our amazing cast and crew that make this all happen. So all of you for actually being here and playing this game, because it wouldn't be the same without you. It wouldn't even exist without you. So you get the point. We want to say thank you to small thanks to the folks over at Tabletop Audio for making the awesome soundtrack that we're going to use for this game and all of our games all the time. And that was probably, let's talk about when and how to watch us. We're here every Saturday, well, except for last Saturday, every Saturday from 1 to 4 Central Time. Every Saturday from 1 to 4 Central Time. And we do this awesome show on Wednesdays. Most Wednesdays, I do our DM prep sessions where you can see me prepare for this campaign and check out the note system I use and all that stuff. And I think that's all. That's all we've got. All right. Well, with that, I say we get back to the show. So I'm going to hop us over to an intro video, and I'll see you in a second.
Ah, old friend, you're here again. So glad you could stop by. Come, sit a while and let's begin the tale of heroes die. In distant lands are stories made with villains most despised. A tale of magic, strength, and blade, of camaraderie and lies. It's one I know quite well, you see. Perhaps you'll find out why. The legends and the histories remember. Heroes die.
All right, and we are back. And I can't hear any of you anymore. That's perfectly annoying. Oh, there we go. Phew.
We
Hear
were
you
just
again.
Hey, muted.
Yeah, well, I was just being
Professional.
quiet in order to freak me out. It succeeded. During the miniseries, every time we'd come back, Andrew would try, and a couple of you actually would try and say things to throw me off. But this time it really worked.
We try our best.
Yeah. No, thank you. So let's talk about where we are and what we're doing. So for the past couple weeks, 8-ish weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. So I don't have the exact thing in front of me, but for the last 6 to 8 weeks, y'all have been on a voyage from the town of Eurosa, the frontier town. You left the day before the big fight between Genoa the Golden and Larry. Genoa the Golden and Larry, the relatively unknown fighter. And so you didn't catch exactly what went down. But you've been headed generally northwest ever since that point, right? And you've been traveling across the tundra. So you're traveling kind of late spring late spring to midsummer is your timing here. As you've been going these last few weeks, you have really become friends with and intimate with huge volumes of mud and flies and other irritating bugs and life in a thawing tundra, which sucks pretty hard. It's nice because it's warmer, but it is unpleasant because you have frozen or extremely cold rivers that you have to cross through. You have a kind of an empty and unpleasant terrain to go through, and everything is thawing and not very well maintained roads and paths. But we find ourselves coming down a hill headed towards the town of Icehaven. You expect to make it by about mid-morning, right? You expect to make it into town by about mid-morning. And so we're going to rejoin all of you on that road. But I'd like for each of you to take a second and tell me something for you, an incident that stuck out in the journey, or something that really either impacted you or was particularly frustrating, or something that was interesting with your character on that journey. And we're going to start with, actually, why don't we see who we have as a volunteer? Who wants to start?
Well, Essie, definitely fed up with the bugs situation, has been attempting over the past, she's been juggling a lot of different projects on this journey, one of which has been asking Zagrin to teach her another language. She's been working on some of her actual projects, but the bugs have been extremely annoying to her. So she's been attempting to recreate basically a smaller level of the thunder wave spell into a fantasy bug zapper for the past few weeks to deal with the bugs. And it's a prototype. It doesn't work more often than it works, but she is attempted also subtly, of course, to get people to invest in this project, as she thinks that she's going to make a lot of gold on it.
Okay, great. Anybody else?
I think at some point, Soleus would be trying to do what he can to commune with the Luxon himself, as to find out direction where Zagrin might be going, or just along those lines. Like there's like he has faith in Zagrin. He knows what he's doing, but he's also kind of like, okay, like give us a little bit of detail here. What's going on? And so I guess he's trying to do that himself too, but not really getting much in the way of answers or responses.
Great.
Zagrin has been teaching Orcish to Essie and has had a lot of time, and can tell that the fences are starting to be mended between them, and still getting in the snide comments, especially in the example sentences he's been using to teach her Orcish. But on one incident, when she was testing out her bug zapper, Zagrin with a jar caught just like the biggest, nastiest looking bug he could and decided to claim it as his pet, just to make sure that there's one bug nearby that it would be socially bad if she killed that one, and has not been directly tormenting her with it, but definitely, feeding it or asking if she wouldn't mind, if she's going to eat that last little bit so we could feed it to the bug. And
that bug is not surviving this journey, just so you know.
He named it Salazar.
Nice.
I'm glad he didn't
amazing.
name it Elspeth Pike Jr.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so for Kit, she's been kind of struggling during this journey. Things when they left Hirosa were kind of tough for her, leaving without really doing anything about the people that she had seen being taken by the press gang. And then just the kind of tough conversation that she had with Essie about the guilt, and feeling kind of guilty about feeling responsible for the deaths of the people previously in the caravan, and not really wanting to bring danger to anyone else again. So all of this has just kind of put her in a really pensive mood, pensive state of mind. She's been working a lot with Zeleus on doing the shadow stuff, which has kind of been good because, I don't think a lot of talking is required with that, and it's kind of suited her mood. But she's been pretty standoffish with Essie, so I would imagine that Essie would likely have noticed. She hasn't said anything outright or really been outwardly upset with Essie. It's just more of kind of avoiding being alone with her too much, which is kind of difficult. But when they are alone together, just kind of being a little quiet.
Okay. Awesome.
That wasn't in part of the crazy bug zapper situation. I mean, that's what Essie thinks. She's like, man, she just must not like the bug zapper.
Sure, if that's what Essie thinks.
All right. Well, we rejoin our heroes. Actually, we rejoin our heroes. Actually, moving into town. So you are going across the last bit of road. So it finally is starting to get a little bit nicer. You're coming down the hill, and you can see this view of the town where the ground slopes down towards this village here located along the coast. There is it's a rustic looking town, like a lot of log buildings, a lot of smoke from various chimneys. A lot of smoke from various chimneys. A lot of smoke from various chimneys. You have, sorry, one second, folks. You have a fairly large docks area with a section not far from the docks that is walled off. Like the only walled compound you can see from above. There's a number of buildings. A river crosses through part of the town, and there's a side of the town on either side of the river. Or so there's a portion of the town on either side of the river. The big docks is on the side of the river that you are on. This river that you've kind of been following for a little bit, probably the last 3 or 4 days. You've seen this river almost always off to your right as you've been traveling, and the journey's been muddy. It's been cold, it's been wet, and it's been bug filled, right? Like everybody, even the most kind of averse to work of your group has been forced to help out every now and again with animals and carts as you're crossing various streams that have appeared, as things melt out there in the tundra. But the town itself is there. You've got some hot food and hot baths possibly available down in this first sign of civilization. It looks relatively bustling for a town kind of out in the middle of nowhere. You are at the farthest edge now of the empire. Welcome to Icehaven.
And it's still warm here. It's still like hot summertime-ish.
It is now about midsummer, so it is as warm as it gets. So during the day, it is nice. It is actually often a little too hot. In the evenings, it has been cold, proper cold. Not see your breath cold, but chilly. You're still sleeping with blankets. And with luck, some sort of netting to keep the bugs off you. Because it is very unpleasant.
I feel like Essie would have tried to finagle something for her and Kit's tent to keep the bugs at bay to the best of her ability. She's just gonna... I'm actually gonna assume she's riding by Zagrin at this point, coming down into Ice Haven. Just practicing a couple lines. So this is how you say you're dirty? Dirty, right? That's how you say it?
Yes. Now, that would be you're dirty as in you, Essie, are dirty, not I am dirty. You'd want to...
Oh, I
the
gotcha.
ending is what dictates. Yes, you're catching on.
Understandable. So it's like you go down sometimes instead of up with your inflection. All right.
And the breath at the end, that is very important. It's almost a grunt, but it's really just that release that says you is the intention behind that breath.
I gotcha. And so if I do it wrong, if I do the inflection wrong, is that like an insult or is it
embarrassing?
Get me in trouble?
It'd be embarrassing. You'd be calling yourself the dirty person, and that would...
So instead of like... okay. So instead of like me saying like my clothes are like outwardly, then you're saying like inside, like my soul is dirty, is kind of what that connotation would be then.
Exactly. That just you are mud, and he kind of like glomps some mud off the ground, and just...
Which is a pretty bad insult in the Orcish.
Minor. They're not too unfamiliar with comparing themselves and their friends to the salt of the earth, so to speak. Now, if you called them dung, that's where you might end up in a tussle you don't want to be in. But mud is a casual insult. It could be said with a jovialness amongst friends.
Right, except that I'm not. I wouldn't be a friend, so it'd still be something to steer away from.
Right. Remember the breath. That's the key.
All right. She just practices releasing her breath in the proper way, and then she's just going to say, listen, I've really been enjoying you keeping us clean with your magics, but I'm really looking forward to a bath.
Yes. This has been one of the worst experiences of my life. It's up there with the haunted house for sure. This filth.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of... Well, I mean, I've been in plenty of situations where there's been mud around and have to deal with it. It's not exactly something I'm not used to, but it just never... The mud between your toes is really what... Just that grit. That's what I don't like.
Though it hasn't all been bad. After all, we've made a new friend, and he'll reach in his pack and pull out the jar with like holes poked in it. Isn't that right, Seldzar? Just kind of like scritches the bottle.
She'll like cut her eyes over to the jar and then look back at him and say, Zagrin, I know that's just to mess with me.
Now, if...
Are you even feeding that bug?
Of course. And he'll unscrew the lid and like drop in just like some leaves. I'm not sure which one it likes, but it eventually goes through all of them. And I figured we've seen the advantages that Yentha's offered in battle, that getting a companion seemed just utility, if I'm being honest.
Your bug is not going to help us in combat. You know that, right? Unless you squash it and shove it up somebody's nose.
Well, I hope it doesn't come to that, but I'll train him yet. Trust me.
I think that bug might not live too much longer. You might want to say your goodbyes.
Just kind of scritches the bottle again and ignores her.
Kit and Zaleus, as you're looking at the town coming in, it does you do see. So there's the main area of the village, and there are a couple clusters of homes further out, and what looks like different little cabin buildings as you get further. And a lot of them are log cabin style buildings, right? So simple and made out of the available materials. Um, Also, near that walled encampment, you see a few new looking and much more modern material looking warehouses that have been built. You also begin to get that a smell of sea and fish coming up off the docks as you get closer. You are now about at the point where you're going to enter town. And again, there's no walls, so you just seem to be able to come up unchallenged. There are a few main roads that seem to come in, and you're now on one of the roads.
Deceiving name, Ice Haven. Seems quite pleasant.
It's very different from Sadash.
What is that foul smell?
I think it's fish.
As you say that, Brave Light begins riding up over to you, and he goes, "Ah, appetizing, is it not?"
Maybe for some.
This is my favorite part of the journey.
Fish, you say?
Ah,
I've never
indeed.
smelt it so close to the source before.
This is the best source of fish in all of this empire.
I will have to trust you on that.
I'll just say under my breath, it reminds me not to take any of his recommendations for restaurants.
We've eaten quite foully on this trip so far.
They make a pie here that is spectacular. You see his tongue licks up at his lips, but it's that sandy cat tongue.
Well, I am actually quite hungry.
Now, I expect that you all will be leaving me, yes? This is the end of our journey together?
I believe the rest of our journey is across the waves.
Well,
I was just going to say, are we all there at that point, or is it just Kit and Steleas?
just Kit and Slayus at this point.
Okay.
But y'all can ride up if you want.
I think we would eventually get in on that saying goodbye to Brave Light.
I'm going to hold back and wait for Zagrin to show up.
Yeah. Were you going to stay here in long, in Ice Haven for long, Brave Light, or were you going to be moving on pretty quick?
I will be here for maybe a week, and then we go further north.
Where are you gonna end up?
We spend our lives on the road. So we will be everywhere eventually. And he smiles.
I'm riding on Freya, so I'll extend a hand down towards him to shake.
Yeah, he holds a hand out.
I'll shake his hand. Thank you for everything. Your caravan's well managed. It was a pleasant stay outside of the bugs and the mud, which cannot be helped.
Indeed. It has been very nice having all of you.
Well, I'm glad we weren't too much of a nuisance.
And you head on now north and leave the Empire. Is that right?
Yeah, we're going up to the Pale Banks.
Excellent. Well, I wish you luck on your continued journey.
Thank you. You as well. I hope that your journeys will be free of bandits and any other problems.
I do as well. I would recommend, if you will be staying in town, a inn by the name of the Rusty Cup has been a place that I and some of my companions enjoy visiting.
The Rusty Cup, we'll have to look it up. That was a lot of rhyming that I did not mean intentionally, but I feel like I'm branching out in my expertise as of lately, so maybe I'll add poetry to the list. Or else it might be a miss.
Everyone starts somewhere on their journeys. Good luck, Miss Pike.
Thanks for the... Yep, I'll be sure to do you proud. What rhymes with proud? She'll say in Orcish to Zagrid. Rhymes with proud.
That you're not allowed.
Perfect. And I won't do anything that I'm not allowed.
Okay then.
Will you be joining us for some fish pie at the Rusty Cup?
I will certainly go there at least a few times before leaving.
Nice. I bid you safe travel.
And you as well.
Yeah, he keeps his mask on and just kind of nods and goes over to Zagrin. How are you, my lord?
I'm well. I really enjoy the sight of civilization again. Just kind of like looking out at the city.
Have you heard anything from the Luxon? Any dreams?
No, I'm a bit disappointed if I'm being honest. Not that I question her wisdom, but I was hopeful that as we got closer, I would have more revealed to me. And as of late, I'm grateful that I haven't had any disturbing dreams or images, but the lack of any images at all is puzzling. Though, as I said, I know it's not mine to question, just to do. It's as we get closer, I hope that I get some sort of answers.
You and me both. We've come so far, and to be left adrift, set adrift now would be harmful to our quest.
If I'm being honest, the idea of leaving the Empire does bring me some comfort. Although we'll be further from the dynasty than we are now. Just crossing that geographical boundary of the ocean will make me feel a little safer.
It would be nice to take these masks off.
Indeed.
Well, shall we get something to eat then?
Yes, I've really enjoyed the textures of scales, but I've never had it in an aquatic creature before. I'm wondering if it will be like lizard or maybe have its own. I'm excited.
It doesn't smell the same, but
Very different.
I'm willing to give it a try if Brave Light likes it so much.
Yes, it will be a new experience if nothing else.
Yeah, Soleus doesn't look too keen.
Zagrin seems genuinely curious. It's something about it speaking to him.
Mm-hmm. Just give him a good cave insect. He'll be happy.
I've got one for you. It's in a jar. Zagrin's holding on to it. Just for you, Soleus.
Man, too puny.
I'm looking forward to the meat pies. I've heard real good things about them in this neck of the woods.
Fish pies.
Yes. That's what I thought in my head. If it didn't come out as fish pies, listen, I've been learning another language, and it's been kind of confusing me as of late. You know,
It's true that Orcish really only have one word for food. It's not really meat,
Yeah.
vegetarian, fish. It's kind of all just the word for shove in maw. Is
exactly.
Really
I'm so sorry. I had Orcish on the mind, and it's just kind of. It's a lot when you know like 6 languages. Sometimes things get intertwined a little bit.
Meats, plural.
Well, you could stick different
For
types in there.
everything.
Yeah. All right. Well, fish pie. Excuse my mess up there. Fish pie sounds like a delight. We should try it out.
Kit, as they're having this conversation and you're seeing Brave Light, your eyes kind of lose focus for a minute. And you realize that you're not seeing the scene that you're in from your perspective, but are instead watching almost from above. And the image is getting like blurry, and then you realize there are bursting bubbles in the surface. You're watching this through some kind of cauldron, as if looking down, and as you do so, you see this clawed hand with skin, not scaly as in lizard scales, but scaled as if it was dried and scarred so badly over time that it was just covered in flaking skin, and it's almost a purplish hue, and you see a claw moving this wooden spoon through this cauldron, and you see yourselves and your companions. Folks, as you're sitting there with Kit, you look over and she looks a bit strange, and suddenly you see a little blood begin to roll down her nose. And go ahead.
I was just gonna. That's it, Kit. I'll walk up to her.
As you see her on the horse riding, she begins to tilt over. You're pretty sure she's going to fall.
I'm gonna try to catch her. I'll like spur Freya on quickly to get there and try to catch her.
Roll me a little animal handling. Let's see.
Freya's so good at this. I'm so good at this. Not good at this, but Freya's real good to me. It's not amazing. It's an 11.
Your 10 was the threshold. You catch Kit as she begins to fall. Kit, as you find yourself losing the vision as you're being pulled into Essie's arms.
I'll just be riding her on Bryn, so like I'm just steady, like a hand steadied as she's on Bryn and I'm on Freya. I'll just be holding her there.
How do I feel?
Dizzy, disoriented, confused.
And so just to clarify, when I was seeing this, the hand that I saw was like it was the hand of the person whose eyes I was looking through? Okay. I'm just gonna put my hand on my head. What happened?
You looked like not yourself, and then you started having some blood come out your nose. You looked like you were gonna fall right off Bryn.
I don't know what happened. I saw something quite strange. I'm just gonna look up.
Strange how?
What did you see?
Do I see anything? Like when I look up, like...
You see the normal, exactly what you were seeing before this vision started.
Yeah, Soleus kind of perks up.
Something's... Just gonna look around and then kind of like lean closer and whisper, I think we're being watched.
Does everything on this godforsaken land want to watch us in some way? Sure feels like it.
Was it bright and sunny? Shimmering?
No. No. She'll look around again, kind of obviously like nervous and shaken. I'm scared. It was like a creature or something. I saw through its eyes. It was looking at us like through some sort of magic cauldron or something. I'm afraid to say. It might see us now.
I think we may know who that is.
You know?
We had a run-in with them prior. Our old friend, the warlock.
Did it look like?
It was not like the warlock, right? It was like a...
So you only saw the hand and a wooden spoon, but it did look fairly wrinkled. It did look fairly gnarled, and they were claws. Like they were not normal human or humanoid hands. Like the fingers were longer and had fairly sharp claws on the end, which the warlock did not have.
Right, the warlock is a tiefling, correct? Okay. I don't think it was the warlock.
Another one watches us.
I don't know why I would see it. Let's go somewhere inside. I don't know if that'll help, but...
The, rusty spoon.
Rusty cup.
Rusty cup. Yep. The rusty cup is what, Bravelight suggested.
I agree. We shall get in there quickly. Seems there is a lot of interest surrounding you, young Kit.
The caravan is pulling up to its campsite, and as you heard from Bravelight, they'd be here for about a week or so. So you have lots of opportunities to make your goodbyes with folks in the caravan, and a number of them are... You did pick up a number of new passengers or new travelers in Eurosa that were heading to Eurosa. So there are some folks that will be here in this town with you.
I'll just start. You alright to ride without help, or feel dizzy still?
I feel a bit dizzy, but I think I'll be alright.
I'll just kind of realize I'm still holding her arm and just kind of like release it. Sorry. I'll yeah, let's get on going. I'll kind of awkwardly get Freya started down the path and be looking for the rusty cup.
Muted, my man.
It was all on purpose. I didn't just mute so I could burp without people hearing me.
Just got to come back afterwards.
Far too classy. Yeah. So you do see as you come into town. It's not a little village, but it's not a big city, right? So you've got a bunch of things on this side of the river. There's the bridge that leads over to the other side, and you don't have a ton of trouble asking around finding your way to the Rusty Cup. It's a fairly large inn, so it's a 2-story, but it's big. Probably at least lengthwise over 100 feet and fairly wide. So there's clearly a lot of rooms in here. But you can make your way into the front door, and you find this fairly large tavern. They do have a stables right next door, so if you want to take in your horses, you may do so there.
I'll extend my hand to take Bryn from. I'll stable the horses.
And I think our horses were the caravan's horses, and we didn't have our own, so we would leave them and with the caravan.
Great.
Yeah, pet my horse. You've done well.
I'll take Freya and Bryn separately. I'll just go stable them. I'll do it like I won't just hand them off. I'm gonna actually untack them myself and brush them down.
Great. As you're stabling the horses, Kit, Zagrin, and Zlaeus, you go in along with actually, no, Calamity comes with you, Essie, and helps you, get the horses ready. Her ability to use prestidigitation once again, helping you get the horses bedded down correctly.
Yeah, thanks. That's a mighty wicked. You should teach me how to do that. I don't know if it's possible, but that's pretty amazing. Every time you and Zagrin do it, I'm real impressed.
Well, it's just kind of something that I do.
Something that you do.
You just want it to be clean, and then it is. Like, and she goes and starts cleaning the horse, just like moving her finger around.
I don't have anything that acts like that. All of my magic, like I know that I have inherent magic that I can draw upon, but I need some way to channel it in a way that I can't just think of something and it happens. I gotta do a little preparation for it to be really effective. I don't know what that's like.
More often than not, it's a really good thing.
Yeah, it makes me a little envious. Not in a bad way. We all need, to have our specialties, but it'd be nice to just be able to think of magic I want to happen and it happen. That's real interesting. You got a pretty special gift there.
It's real nice. For the rest of you, as you walk into the inn, it's not busy, right? So it's a little bit probably around 10 in the morning ish, so mid morning. You walk in and there's some folks in there. There's a large bar, so the big common room. There are some doors off to other places, and there's a stair that leads up upstairs. You think you're seeing a fairly large common room, probably about 20, 30 tables in here. A big bar section, and as you're walking in, there's no one behind the bar, but a woman wearing an apron and regular work clothes is cleaning one of the tables. She goes, "Be right with you. Sit anywhere you like." And she finishes clearing away stuff and preparing things.
I say we find a table in the corner, very inconspicuously.
Yeah, before we walked in, Zagrin still had on his mask and his robe. He would have cast disguise self underneath of his disguise to look like a regular elf. But yeah, take our reserved seat in every tavern we go to, and the inconspicuous table in the corner.
Honestly, doesn't that just tell people we're more shady if we get like the back dark corner table every time?
How crowded is it?
It's just how we roll.
There are 4 other tables with folks in them, but no table with more than 5 people. So it's not too packed, and there's lots of room.
And what is it, like mixed folks, primarily human, or?
It's definitely mixed. Human, halfling. You see elves. Actually, a lot more elves than you're used to seeing, and a good number of dwarves. You see a group of 3 that looks like soldiers. Actually, looks like the Crown's Guard soldiers.
Let's stay away from them.
And the whole
whatever table is far from them.
The whole room is actually fairly dark. So the innkeeper has closed all the doors and windows and attempt to kind of keep the cool air in as the day starts to heat up. So the whole room is fairly dark. There is a very small fire going, and there are some lanterns lit in a couple places. But it's easy to find a well-shadowed corner.
Okay. And you said that there's like a balcony. There's like another row of.
So there's a stair that leads upstairs, but it's the ceiling's probably about 10 feet high. Or the ceiling is about 10 feet high. Excuse me. The ceiling's about 10 feet high, and you can go up there to a separate section, but you can't see what the stairs go up to.
Okay.
It's the stairs kind of walled off.
Nice.
Yeah. The innkeeper comes by and she goes, "Well, folks, can't say I recognize you. Something I can get for you?"
Fish pie.
Yes, that lovely aroma that you have. Whatever's causing that, I will certainly take some of that.
Ah, okay. 3 pies?
Please.
3 of them? Yes, 3.
Will you be... Are y'all looking for rooms? Are you new in town?
Yes, if you had lodging, I believe we could take 3 rooms.
Ah, excellent. Well, names are sold. This is my establishment, the Rusty Cup. Good to meet y'all. 3 pies, maybe something to wash it down with.
Yes, some ale would be appropriate. And we do have 2 others that will be joining us as well.
5 pies.
I believe Essie would probably like a pie, right? And just kind of look to... Yes.
5 pies and a pitcher of the local. What do you say?
Sounds
Welcome
like
to Icehaven.
Lovely, thank you.
Excellent. So she heads away and leaves you, so y'all have a minute of quiet conversation if you want to engage. Essie, feel free to enter back into the scene whenever you're ready.
I think, yeah, probably by this point, the horses would be untacked and brushed down, and they'd turn Calamity and just walk back in. Wonder if they got us some fish pies or if they're just getting them for themselves.
We think of everything.
I'll sit down at the table. Take a look around.
Kit, how do you feel in here? Any different?
I don't see what I saw before, but it was like a vision. Like I was seeing through someone else's eyes. It's like they were looking down at us, like through a cauldron.
A scrying device.
It's what I was wondering.
Maybe I saw like a hand. It was not like a human hand. It was wrinkly and had claws, and it was holding a spoon, and it was stirring the cauldron while it was looking down at us. It made me feel something not right about it.
What's really strange about this is, I'm sure you can tell, it's very peculiar that you would be seeing through their eyes, scrying at yourself.
Yes, the visions that we had in Chilea's cabin were always of ourselves experiencing the horrific visions inflicted on us, not from the perspective of another.
Maybe it's from Chile, and maybe it's, I don't know. I feel like that's the only thing I can think of that could be related to what I saw.
Could Chilea be scrying on someone who is scrying on you?
Scryception.
It's just like a Congo line of scrying. Is that what's going on here? Hi,
It's been
see
known
you.
to happen.
I don't know anything about scrying. I just know what I saw.
There are ways, ways to block it. Magical devices.
We
that could
need that.
stop. I would say so. Although I do imagine them to be quite rare.
Well, they'd most likely be rare out in this neck of the woods. They'd probably be easier to obtain in a larger city. Zadash would have been a real good place to get one of them.
Expensive as well.
We can look around Ice Haven, but I don't know if they'd have anything like that.
You see a sold come back with a tray, and all of you get a steaming hot fish pie. It smells pretty good. She's got a pitcher of beer, and she comes out with a little clay jar, little clay bottle, and a bunch of like little cups. And she goes, and this one's on the house. And she pours you each a little bit of clear liquid in the tiny cups.
Thank you, ma'am.
This here's Haven wine. So, give it a shot.
Is it best if you partake that in little sips, or is it a take it all down at one time sort of a drink?
You kind of find your own way through it.
Sounds exciting. Thank you.
Made
Sniff
with
it.
all local ingredients. Yeah, you smell it. It's got a nice combination of, a little hint of moonshine, a very nice fish odor added in there, and and just a hint of evergreen or pine.
I was thinking it was gonna be like ice wine, but no, this doesn't sound like ice wine.
I'll go for it. I'll take a drink.
Yeah, it warms you up. Of that, there's no doubt. But whether or not the flavor is good is really up to you.
I'll watch.
It's certainly an
Essie.
acquired taste.
Essie, she'll drink it, and she won't react in a negative way. She'll just go, whew. I'll put hair in your chest.
Did you throw it back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll throw it back too.
It was pungent. It was very strong.
Yeah, this is fish wine. Yeah.
I don't want to know how that's made.
Zagrin looks at the glass and says something under his breath, and his fingers glow as he casts prestidigitation to change the flavor, and then just very slowly savors as it tastes just like the finest drow wine he's ever had, and says, "Delicious, delicious."
Do you want mine? Do you want mine?
Oh, I would love it. Thank you. And once again, take it, and this time almost trying to almost pass off the verbal component as like a cheer. He says something and casts the spell and then drinks it down.
Little sparkles going on.
Very suspicious.
You've yet to see Calamity run into a liquor that she doesn't want to drink. But you can tell it takes her a minute to work her way up to this one, to the fish wine. But she is dived right into the pie.
I do try the pie.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
This tastes like something that the locals made in Sefeska when I was in that neck of the woods. Strong.
Celeste is smelling his clothes like...
It's not the aroma that really does it. It's that oily texture that kind of congeals to the crust that really just lets it... It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I agree.
So for both...
pie is quite good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just talking about the pie.
For both Essie and Zagrin, each of you have a contact to meet here in the city. So in each case, you're actually going to meet the same person, although you may or may not know that. I don't know if you talk to each other. But you're going to go meet a person known as the buyer's agent here in Icehaven. And the buyer's agent is there to arrange transit on a boat up to the Pale Banks. And that's the next step of your journey. What you do know is that the ships come at their own schedule, and they're not super regular. So the time between when you're ready to leave and when the ship's ready to leave, who knows what that difference is or could be.
I gotta go meet the buyer's agent to procure us a spot on the ship up to the Pale Banks. That's next on the agenda for me. How about you boys?
Yes, our journey takes us to the Pale Banks as well, and I believe the buyer's agent's probably the most efficient way to secure travel.
Likely, although I don't know how long we'll be here in Asshaven waiting for the ships. They're not exactly regular, from my understanding.
No, although the waiting period here in Icehaven does sound more enjoyable than the trek getting to Icehaven, so I'm in no real rush.
I just have a couple goals, and she's gonna look towards the jar that he has that bug in.
And yeah, when he sits down, it wasn't there when Essie came in to the table, but as she was sitting down, he reached in and just puts it right on the table.
Didn't your mother ever tell you bugs at the table, not to bring your pets to the table?
Family's always welcome at my table, and puts in a little piece of the pie. Again, not knowing what the hell this thing eats, but has just kind of been trying everything. And not really paying attention to know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah,
Dalen, you are a piece of work sometimes. She'll say in Orcish.
Wonderful pronunciation.
I've been working. So, Kit, you're... Essie would have sat, like, on the opposite side of Kit, which has been abnormal. She'll just kind of look across the table. You feeling all right now, or still feeling a little dizzy?
I don't. I'm just afraid of it happening again. I feel okay. I'll be fine.
All right, well, I mean, tell us if you're feeling something like you like that again, or if it happens again.
Of course. Sure. She'll just look back and kind of pick at the pie. She's not really eating it.
Essie is systematically taking the pie down. For sure.
I did secure us a few rooms, 3 rooms for the lot of us. We should be receiving the keys to that or the directions to that shortly, I imagine. Perhaps some rest would do you good, Kit.
She just nods.
Yes.
What do I owe you, Zagrin? Did you pay for the rooms already?
No, we haven't received the tab, but
All right, thanks. I appreciate it.
So just to fast forward a little bit, you're able to secure the rooms and board for the horses for 5 gold a week, and that's going to include food and things like that.
I'll take it out of the party fund.
yep, that's what it's
5
for.
gold. Yep.
It's not the nicest place, but it's not bad, right? Like you have chamber pots, you have a well right outside, with a pump and everything that you can use, and it's not.
These conditions
not
are nice. It's better than camping out in the mud.
No obvious bugs or bed bugs.
Are the cups rusty?
No, the cups are all made of wood, so it's a very. The name doesn't even make sense.
Okay.
I feel like they could have tried a little harder to find an appropriate name, especially with their tableware being made out of wood.
The splintery goblet, perhaps, would have been a more apropos name.
Yeah.
That was already taken.
That's right next door. That's fair. Well, what time of the day is it? Oh, sorry.
So it's now getting towards noon, and as it does get towards noon, you see the place begin to pack up a fair bit, right? Like a lot of folks are in here. There are trappers. There are a good number more soldiers that come in. by the time lunch rolls around, there are 4 tables with soldiers. And you notice this because you've seen some of it. There are 2 or 3 folks that are wearing the outfits that you associate, or the colors that you associate with the Cerberus Assembly mages.
Anyone that I recognize?
No, There's a youngish halfling woman. There is a male elven wizard, and there's a figure that you can't actually see well at all because they wear a heavy cowl. They do look to be fairly tall.
But not a familiar build, just tall.
Yeah, just tall, not too heavy looking. But they're wearing a deep cowl.
Interesting. And the last figure wearing the heavy cowl is also wearing Cerberus Assembly colors, or is it nondescript?
Yeah, so there's 3 of them together wearing these colors, or this kind of pattern that you associate with them.
And do they I'm gonna like lean down almost as if I'm rummaging into my bag and just kind of try to clock them in a get a better feel for them. Are they watching us or anyone else, or are they minding their own business?
You know, they're minding their own business. That being said, you can see them, the 2 whose faces you can see, looking at the crowd more than once.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it looks like this is the lunch rush. People coming in to eat.
Would I know of any reason why members of the Cerberus Assembly would be in Ice Haven? Like, is there any big draw to come here that I would know of, or like dig
Roll
sites?
me a history check.
Oh, I'm good at this. Let's see. I am really good at this. 26 total.
Okay.
Nice.
So you weren't supposed to, but you overheard a conversation that your father was having with one of his contacts back when you were really getting frustrated at how little he was sharing with you. But there have been an influx of new magical artifacts coming into the Empire, and the word is that they're coming in through Ice Haven. So there is something. There is some trade happening out of Ice Haven that has been responsible for new and interesting magical artifacts coming into the Empire. And your father was concerned about it, and the person he was talking to didn't have a ton of details, and you could tell he was frustrated about that.
Interesting. She'll keep that to herself. She'll subtly watch them to the best of her ability without drawing any extra attention.
Okay.
Slice is going to lean over to Zagrin. These guards are starting to make me nervous.
Yes, I much enjoyed it when there was fewer eyes inside of this tavern. Perhaps we get a move on, or just try to avoid their gaze.
I might go out for a smoke.
I'll join you.
Yeah, get up.
Absolutely. So are y'all going to
pack
go?
A pipe.
So up. If you go upstairs, there is a back way out. So in the upstairs, there's a couple different hallways, but there are 2 different little balconies and walks down from the outside of the building. So you can enter the building from 2 points. They go right up to that 2nd level. There is a balcony around the front, and there was a back door out into the alley behind the inn, the Rusty Cup.
Yeah, do the back balcony.
All right, great. Yeah, you're able to get out there again. There's some seagulls, cawing. There's that nice salt water and fish odor everywhere, but it's starting to become a lot less. It's starting to become like background smell. Patting that. It's starting to become background smell, and yeah, you've got to look out from that balcony. You can actually have a decent view of one of the main streets, and there's folks walking. There are wagons. You can tell that the caravan's been unloading a lot of people, or a lot of people and things.
Yeah, I'll pack a little pipe, pass it back and forth between Zagra and myself. Pull my hood up so I'm still shaded from the sun.
Feeling a little bit awkward, Essie will like bring out the book that she bought in Eurosa, the referencing Talcurry, and she'll just have like a little bookmark, and she'll like open it up and like eat on the side while she's studying that a little bit.
Yeah, great.
Lord Zagrin, are you a bit worried that another set of eyes are watching us intently?
Yes, although, if I'm being honest, I was never sure that we were not being watched. The idea of more than one party watching us is less good. Although I will say that when I say watching us, it's always gone back to watching Kit, hasn't it? That we seem to have avoided the gaze of pretty much everyone we've encountered. It's the little one, not the little one, but the smaller one that they seem to be most interested in.
Yes, there is something there.
Still, she's proven herself loyal and very ferocious on the battlefield. I do feel some obligation to try to make sure that she is safe. Not necessarily at the expense of where we're going, but I don't wish to abandon her to whatever eyes might be upon her.
Oh, absolutely. No, Kit has proven herself time and time again. And I feel like no one should bear the brunt of these visions.
Particularly if they are related to the Chalea of it all. It is at least in part brought upon by the collective group that I do feel somewhat responsible for whatever it is that she may be encountering.
Perhaps if we get off this continent, things would fare better.
Yes, I do feel that the further away we are from the Empire, the safer we will be in general. Call it a hunch.
Essie, Kit, and Calamity, as you're finishing up your meal, either of you, are you both kind of watching and paying attention to what's going on?
Yeah, I would be alternating between like, you read a paragraph and then you like recheck your surroundings, and you read another paragraph and you recheck your surroundings kind of deal with her book.
Yeah, can one of you give me a perception and one of you give me an insight roll?
I'll Oh boy.
We'll do insight.
I'll do perception. Yeah.
Nice.
I crummy at insight, which is why I don't know why Kit is avoiding me.
7.
It's a 12 for perception.
Kit
Not
looks
great.
really like haunted, like she's looking around, but she's distracted.
1,000-yard stare.
Yeah. People coming and going. You notice Calamity's been a bit quiet, but she pats your hand at some point, Kit, and she goes, "Well, I'll head up to the room for a bit. If it's all the same to you folk, and we'll catch up later tonight."
Get some rest. Absolutely. You're all right if when I go get us passage to a ship? You're still coming along?
As long as you'll have me.
All right, and I'll get a third ticket then.
Yeah.
Rest
Smiles,
easy.
but there's an edge to her voice that you don't recognize. She heads up.
I'll wait until she's out of earshot and then say, "Did Calamity seem odd to you?"
Kit's just kind of looking around and... Sorry, what?
Nothing. It's nothing.
Yantha crawls up from the chair that that Calamity was in and begins licking up the tray that had the fish pie.
Did Zagran leave his bug? Oh, tell me Zagran left his bug. Dang it. All right.
Definitely not.
All right. I'll kind of, now as I'm reading, I'll read a paragraph and then I'll look up at Kit for a second and then I'll read again.
Make to leave. She'll push back her chair and stand up and kind of hesitate for a second and then walk away. Go up to the room.
All right. As you're able to hang out in the common room for a bit, are you planning to head out to see the buyer's agent, or are you going to wait for Zagran and go together? What's your thinking?
I would eventually close my book, put it back away, pause and look at the area where the rooms are and hesitate, and then I'll go find Zagran and Silius outside if they're still around. You had plans on... You certainly don't have to go to the buyer's agent with me, but I think I'll probably head there right now if you wanted to come along. And she'll mostly say it to Zagran, but include Silius in there.
Yes, I think that would be appropriate. At least find out when we can expect the next ship out and get some information and secure our passage.
Silius, if you wanted to come along, that's completely fine, but she'll kind of pause like she doesn't know how to say this. And I don't mean anything by this, but Calamity felt like she was on edge. There was a weird tone to her voice, and she wanted to get out of the commons area pretty quick. Would you mind keeping an eye on... She'll pause again. I don't want to think ill of anyone, but would you keep an eye on her comings and goings while we're out? Yeah, a bit?
Absolutely. As long as you keep an eye on my precious cargo here.
Yeah, I won't throw them in the water if that's what you're wondering. She'll just, I feel like the tension between the two is reduced significantly on the journey. You know we're getting along just fine. Recent times.
Right. If this is what you wish, Lord Zagran, I will keep an eye on Calamity.
Yes, and Kit as well. I know that she's undergoing a lot, and just making sure that she's okay.
My eyes are yours.
Thank you, Silius.
Thank you. I don't mean to speak ill of anyone, but I've always trusted my gut, and my gut's telling me something's up.
Suspicion isn't speaking ill.
I'm glad you say that. All right, we'll be back shortly. It shouldn't take us too long.
Safe travels.
I'll start walking away with Zagran.
Essie and Zagran. So the buyer's agent is located down by the dock. So there are some shipping company offices, and one of the shipping companies is associated with the buyer's agent. And I'm going to grab that right now.
Also, where's Yantha?
Yeah, I would not have had that conversation if Yantha was present.
Always
just so you know.
Forgetting about Yantha.
Yeah, so she's not there. She's not there with you. She didn't join you outside. So you left her when you left the when you left the tap room or the bar room, she stayed down there and was looking at plates.
How are the rooms? Is it like before where it's Kit and Essie and Calamity has their own room and Zagrin and Zeleus have their own room?
I guess I would assume, but
Okay.
but if you wanted to change that up in any way, you certainly could.
No, I was just curious.
Yeah, I think the party just has access to 3 rooms, but nobody's dibsed any yet.
So, like, I guess it would just have been so far. Calamity went up, and then Kit went up. So Kit would just take another room.
Yeah, y'all can do the room division however you like. Like Calamity's not picky about needing a private room, and is literally the smallest person among your group.
I think it's
Except
more
for
like
lead
we
space.
just want a little
Yeah, no, I get it.
privacy at times to say whatever we need to.
The justification, if she asks, is that, well, no, it's Calamity and Yenta, so that's your pair of 2. And then everybody has a pair.
Smart.
Zagrin's
That's smart.
justification.
So, by the way, it is the offices of the Sea Winds Trading Company.
Okay.
And then, Seleus, you also had a contact to meet separately at the Sea Winds Trading Company.
Oh, at the same spot?
Yes.
Oh, well, then I probably would have gone with them.
That's fine. Yeah. Or you could meet them later. So don't feel any pressure one way or the other.
I mean, we're going to be here for a week, most likely.
Right.
Oh, Essie will just kind of be quiet, as like unnaturally quiet for her as they walk towards the Sea Winds Trading Company, the docks. Like she seems lost in thought.
Zagrin's enjoying the sound of the waves. It's a very unfamiliar sound, so he's not talking much either, but not necessarily in his head, but present in his surroundings.
It's like,
Yeah. This is
He's
weird.
got like
This
the
is
flattest
new.
look, yeah, and he's like, ooh, like a tourist versus a local. It's
Yeah,
like-
staring up at the seagulls and just watching them fly around and fight over fish and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of bustle. So you're going near that walled compound, and that which is right by the docks, and that the fancier new warehouses, and then you see some of the older warehouses, offices, and among the shipping companies, you see an office for the Seawind Trading Company.
Seems to be the place.
Oh, yeah, we're here already. Wow, that was quick. It was a quick walk.
Suppose that you might have more experience with this sort of travel. I'll follow your lead, and let's just hope your documents hold up to any kind of scrutiny. I don't know if we'll need to present them now, but I'm glad that you'll be nearby to see how well your work holds up.
Absolutely. She'll noticeably like adjust her glasses and pinch the bridge of her nose and just kind of like, it almost looks like she's pulling herself together a little bit, and she'll walk in. Sea Winds Trading Company. Look around. Yeah. Hi, is anyone around here?
Yes, give me just one sec. So as you open the door, wood door, you hear that little ring as the bell chimes. As the bell chimes, as you come in, you're in this room. There's a counter, but there's no one in there, and there's a door behind the counter, and someone comes out. So the contact that you're going to meet is the buyer's agent, right? And you were given the name Marius Stonebridge. So a person walks out. They are what look like a orcish man. They're wearing glasses, like kind of like little cheaters, and they look a fair bit older, right? So a little bit of, they've got a decent beard. It's got a fair bit of gray in it. No hair on their head. This does look like a man. He's wearing relatively nice clothes with a of best.
I will greet him in a formal orcish greeting.
Oh no.
Yeah, go. Roll me an intelligence check. Let's just see the caliber of this.
I am real good at straight intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah. He looks at you. He looks at you. Sorry, my computer started doing weird things. He looks at you as you say this, and he raises an eyebrow. He goes, "Greetings to you as well, friend. What?" Yeah, he grabs it and he gives you like the traditional orcish handshake, which is that kind of wrist grabbing wrist thing. And he pulls you real strongly. He goes, "Ah, not all know, not many here know the beautiful language. It's a pleasure to hear it spoken." Well, good luck and safe travels then. What can I do for you? Hmm. Very well. And you as well, sir? Um, he makes a oh crud. Uh, thanks, Cryo. No, none of you can be heard. You're welcome, everybody. You can only hear me. Let's see if I can get this right again. I love. No. All right. Say nothing. All right. Now I think they can hear you again. So thank you, Cryo, for that reminder. So I don't know how much we lost there, but just to recap, what we had is a little interaction between Essie, Zagrin, and the store clerk, or the trading post clerk, where they talked about how they wanted to go see the buyer's agent. They had an appointment to meet them, and so the orcish man looks at you and goes, "Well, very well. Give me a minute, and I'll find out when he's ready." And he walks into the back, and you two are left alone momentarily in the office.
She'll look at Zagrin. That turned out to be handy real quick.
Yes, and figuring out the word endeavor was quite impressive. I don't recall teaching you that one, but you're right. It is the same word as task I must complete or I will be smacked with a large axe. Is exactly the word. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I did that right.
You're picking up the logic of the language.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's the teacher or the student. I'll take at least 51% of the credit there.
We'll fight over the last percent later, but we'll agree to share the lion's share of it.
All right, fair enough. Thank you again, Zagrin. I appreciate that you at least felt some sort of need to teach me. I really appreciate it.
And I appreciate what you do for the group and for myself as well. I'm pleased that we're able to let past indiscretions remain in the past as we leave the Empire and travel into uncharted territories for the both of us in a new area.
Yeah, it's not... Oh, that's all right.
The orcish man comes back and he goes, "Well, good timing. Marius will see you right now."
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. And your name was?
My name is Grim.
Grim. A pleasure, Grim. I very much appreciate your time.
And he leads you back, and you're brought into an office, and there is a average size, kind of average description human man sitting there behind the desk. And she comes in and goes, welcome, friends. Please take a seat."
Thank you. I'll sit with very good posture.
And you are Elspeth Pike, then?
That's yes, and you're Marius Stonebridge.
I am indeed.
a
And
pleasure to meet
you
ya.
are?
Dalen, pleasure.
Dalen. Ah, okay.
Yeah, I believe. I do apologize. I had let you know that. Well, I had originally had need for passage of two folks, but my party has gained one. She is small, a halfling. It shouldn't be too big of a problem, but I apologize for not letting you know in advance. I'll be needing passage for 3 myself.
And myself and my companion Dennis will be traveling with us as well. So it'll be 5 in total.
Excellent. Passages 30 gold per person.
All right, I'm gonna just dig it out of the company funds, the party funds.
Now, the next ship shouldn't be here for another 3 weeks, so you have some time to wait here in town.
That's all right. We know how that goes.
Excellent. And Miss Pike, actually, I've been anticipating your arrival. I have this, and he begins searching through his things, and he pulls out a letter, and passes it over to you. And the letter actually is sealed with your father's seal, and it says to Elspeth Pike. And with that, actually, we're going to take a break.
Oh
We'll
no!
see you when we come back,
Jason.
folks. Thank you so much for watching this 16th episode of our Best Left Buried series. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes while we do normal human things in the middle of the show. See you in a minute. Okay, and that looks like we're back. Everything's unmuted, so hopefully you can hear our awesome cast. So hey folks, thanks so much for your patience while we took that slightly less than 10-minute break. Yeah, this is you're watching Heroes Die Show. We're on episode 16 of the Best Left Buried series. So just a little recap of what's been going on so far. And I think we've got a little recap thing in the chat. Let me just double check on that. So what we have a group of heroes, two from the Dwendalian Empire, two from the Kryn Dynasty, and they've come together and they've taken this caravan basically across the Empire, right? All of whom have the goal to get up to Isilcross. Now, for different reasons, right? Zagrin is on a bit of an internal holy mission. Seleus is there with his own mission related to Zagrin. Essie and Kit traveling together. Kit escaping a something that was hunting her back in Zadash. Essie trying to break away from her family and build her own name and fortune. Each of you now in the town of Icehaven are figuring out what's next for this next leg of your journey. In the first half of the episode, we went through and we heard a little bit of our characters and what they've been up to during the last 8 weeks as they traveled from the town of Erosa up here to Icehaven, and we've met the buyer's agent. And this all culminated with Essie getting a letter from her father. Now, for those that weren't around for episode 1, because I doubt many of you were around for episode 1, Essie had actually left in the night without telling her family, and she'd left some messages about where she was going and what she was doing with her family's servant automaton Carlos thing.
Living automaton. He's kind of like the mascot of the family in the house.
Yeah.
Carlos.
Carlos. And Carlos had been instructed to give these letters to her father and the family after she had a few days on the road. And so we rejoin ourselves here. So Essie getting a very unexpected letter from her father.
I will take it like almost unnaturally quickly, like out of social norms quickly, and I'll take it and she'll almost like place a hand over her father's name to like in an attempt to be secretive, and then realize like it doesn't matter, he's had this for quite some time, and then just put it on her lap and hold it. Thank you. How long have you had this waiting for me?
Must have been a few weeks now.
Was it a courier?
Your father is a investor in Seawinds.
Of course.
And you'll find our agents in the Pale Banks as well as in your final destination, Isilcross. We can send your messages to him as needed.
Thank you. Was it a courier that dropped that off, or did he come personally?
No. I got it by ship.
Of course. Yeah.
Are you distressed, Miss Pike?
No.
Didn't mean to offend.
Of course not. No. It's good news hearing from my folks. It's just my journey here is my own expedition. I'm not here because of my parents this time. This expedition is my own. But it's nice hearing from them. Absolutely. Thank you for passing along the message. I might have something to return. It might take me a day to write a response. But if you wouldn't mind carting it back to Zadash, that'd be wonderful.
I can have it sent.
You have my appreciation for that.
Zagrin
Of course.
certainly perked up at the conversation, he didn't recognize the seal, but then based on the conversation, he sort of picks up what's happening and says, "Now, what would be really impressive is if you could produce one from my family." And just kind of looks expectantly.
Are they investors?
I'm afraid not. And it was Dalen?
Yes, yes.
I'm afraid I have nothing for anyone by that name.
To be expected.
What about Dennis Dennison?
Can't say I do.
Must be real important to get letters around here. She'll kind of give him a smug look. Give Zagran a smug look, to clarify.
Yeah, and
Right.
Zagran just kind of gives a grin back and then, well, if we're done playing post workers, perhaps we can move on to what documentation were we expected to bring when we arrive for the ship?
You'll need your transit papers to leave the docks, but otherwise, I'll arrange your berth. So the captain will have your names, and we'll have a place for you.
No physical ticket then necessary?
None.
Wonderful service, wonderful. See, my name is noted, and I look back at Essie.
Must be the company you keep. So you said that it was about a week until, or 3 weeks until the ship was going to arrive. Then
That's what I have on the schedule. Yes.
wonderful. Do you know of any anything happen around in town that might keep us busy for a couple weeks? We're the adventurous type. Like to keep busy.
Can't say I've heard much. Although word is some of the trappers have been running into strange encounters out on the ice. There was a bounty posted at the sheriff's office.
Oh, to hunt down what's causing these strange occurrences or encounters.
They claim some beast out on the tundra, a yeti, is hunting trappers.
A yeti, interesting. All right,
Seems an ironic twist, but maybe that was in poor taste.
would I know what he's talking about? With
What?
like when he said like it's in poor taste, like what he's referring to?
I think he meant that
Specifically?
the trappers were being hunted.
Oh, okay, that's it. I thought maybe there was something else, like the Great Yeti, something of Ice Haven. Okay, never mind. All right. Well, I appreciate that. And then, so should we check back in periodically after like a couple weeks and see, or will there be word sent to the inn?
Where are you staying? I can have word sent to you as needed.
We're staying in the Rusty Cubs.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Room 18 is my room.
Great. I can leave messages with the innkeeper.
Wonderful. Well, thank you much. Do we pay up front or just your passage or the day
Yes.
out? All right. She'll reach into her bag of holding and produce the funds. Hand that off to him.
Yeah, he takes it, counts it, like he's very meticulous. He goes, "Oh, excellent. Passage for 5. Send me all the names when you have them, and I'll make sure that you have space on the ship."
Absolutely. I can do that now. She'll take out a quill, or if he has a quill, otherwise she'll take one out and a piece of parchment and just write their names elegantly down and pass it over to him.
Yeah,
With
great.
descriptions of all of them.
Great. It's like, oh, excellent. Excellent. Well, make your way past the docks officials when the time comes and board the ship.
The descriptions for Essie, Kit, Calamity, and Seleus are really in depth, and then Zagran something like nondescript tall man.
Great.
She'll pass it over. I appreciate the time that you've taken with us, and look forward to hearing of the ship's arrival.
Excellent.
And one final question. We're not going to be expected to work while on the ship, correct? No bodyguard service, cleaning service. We're paying for travel and not employment. Is that fair to say?
Indeed. Yes, you are passengers.
This is how business is done.
But we're more than happy to pitch in if it means
Let's
that
go.
we're
I believe we've taken up
helping.
enough of the man's time. Let's.
Dalen, you have to do chores at some point in your life. You know that, right? Like, that's not something you can avoid forever.
Thank you so much, and we will we'll see you the day of. And Dalen just gets up and leaves.
Essie will give like a proper like half bow to Marius. I
Safe
appreciate
travels.
it.
And if you have a letter to return, bring
I
it
will
to me
bring
and
it
I
back.
will.
Yeah, of course. I'll bring it back shortly. Thank you. I'm gonna hurry and catch up with Zagrin, and I'm gonna like elbow him in the side, and I'll say, "I hope in your next life you're a maid."
Well, if I'm being honest, that requires me getting back closer to the Empire. And he kind of just looks around. I'm more vulnerable to actually dying when I'm this far.
She'll look serious for a moment, but then she'll just say, "Well, I guess you better get your maid duties in this life,
Or
or else
just
you might
safely
miss your
escorted.
opportunity."
I think it's just more reason to make sure that I'm safely escorted back to my proper location so I can die where I'm supposed to die, and then maybe you'll get your wish.
I'll pray to the Luxon that you get a maid's job next time. But
Thank you, I say in Orthish.
she will then get distracted, like she's almost clutching her sealed letter to like her abdomen chest, and then she'll like hurriedly put it in her bag of holding.
Yeah, great. We cut back to the inn with Saleus, Kit, and Calamity. So Saleus, because you're paying attention, Calamity orders up a bath and gets going with that, and presumably you give her some privacy for the rest of that process.
I just stand over her like. No, I basically just loom in the hallways, checking doors and whatnot. Just you know, like cleaning with like a pipe here and there. Yeah, we're just waiting for the others to get back.
Kit, anything you're up to in particular?
Yeah, she'll open the door, just peek out and see Saleus, and then she'll look around and slip out and close the door and just walk over. See anything?
Nothing. Just quiet. Unless you want to see a halfling in a bath.
Sounds like the start of a really bad joke.
What do you get when you... never mind. I've never been very good at jokes.
Me neither. Oh,
How about you?
No, nothing else. I just heard you out here. Thanks for keeping an eye out.
Any more strange visions?
No, but last time I had something like this happen, it wasn't like this. It was, visions, presumably from Julia. I felt something strange, like my eye actually started to feel weird.
Your eye?
Like maybe I was going blind or something. But I could see. It was just, I don't know. It's weird. Haven't felt it again though, so Maybe it was just like, my imagination.
I don't claim to know much about the goings-on of magic, but I do know that some individuals have ways of looking through other people's eyes. That they brand individuals and could look through them.
You said there was something that could keep us safe from being scryed on?
Yes, I've heard of implements, items that can block the scrying effects.
I'd like to find something.
I think they would be highly beneficial. I mean, Zagrin and I are being watched, but are being watched by somewhat familiar eyes. Yours, however, I have no idea about.
Whoever this was that was watching, it wasn't just watching me, it was watching all of us.
This is what's troubling.
If I want to get something, I don't know what to look for, would you go with me to find this magical device?
Absolutely. In fact, I do have to make my way to the traders as well.
Mind if I go?
Not at all. Easier to keep an eye on you that way.
Keep an eye on me. What for?
Well, just to make sure you're all right. Well, we are all far from home here. It is good to have those watching your back, on your side at least.
Well, thank you for that. Seems like you're always watching out for people.
It is what I do.
Who watches out for you?
I dare not say.
Well, if it means anything, I'll look out for you.
Thank you. It is very rare that someone offers to watch my back.
Well, you've had mine, so it's the least I can do.
All right,
Just keep an eye on the little dragon.
Certainly. Just sneak about. Always listening.
Okay. So as you wrap this up, do y'all want to wait for Essie and Zagrin to get back, or did y'all want to head out?
I'd like to wait for them to get back.
Great.
I
So
also
we'll
think
fast
that
forward
it's.
to that. Oh, sorry.
What I was going to say, it's real interesting that every time we finally really trust Calamity, Jason does something that we're like, oh, I don't know again. Anyway, just random.
Save that for the talk show episode.
All right. I feel like Zagrin and Essie would be back
Great.
probably around
All right.
that point.
All right, you arrive back. Essie, that
Yes.
letter is burning a figurative hole in your pocket.
I will take a moment to stop by Seleus, though, and say, did you see anything while we were gone?
Nothing. Merely relaxing.
Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. I'll take over from here.
enjoy.
Not as good at it, but it's real hard for me to not be seen. You know, I just kind of have that. Never mind. We'll see you when you get back.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult.
I will make my way. I will like pause and see if there's any like splashing going on in the bathhouse. But then I'm gonna find a private place to rip into my letter.
Yeah, and I guess we're gonna head out.
Yeah, and I will have gotten like the party funds from Essie before leaving, so that if we want to buy anything, we have the monies.
Need some monies.
Yeah, of course. Here, I'll hand it over. That would be 238 gold pieces, if you need it.
Zagran's had the ice haven wine, 2 helpings of that. He's had a bunch of pie. He's now gone on a walk. He's taking a nap.
Nice. All right, Celeste and Kit, you begin making your way through the town, and you find yourself also at the Sea Winds Trading Company. As you go down, Kit, you notice as you get towards the dock, there are some indications in Thieves' Cant of both a fence and a guild house. So there is a guild house here. It points you down an alley. But that's what you catch. Seleus, you see, as you get to the Sea Winds Trading Company, a mark on the sign that is very much associated with the lens.
Will you
This
come
is-
in? Or
this
will
is a
you wait
safe house.
outside? Nice.
On the way there, I will have just like very slowly and subtly changed my appearance slightly using disguise self, and I'll just I'll make my skin like a little tanner, and my eyes like a bright blue, and my hair is like a blonde. I'll just change my features slightly, so I just look a little different.
Yeah.
Well, but when we get there, I'll just say I'll wait outside.
All right. I shouldn't be long.
As you're heading in, Seleus, you notice at one of the nearby warehouses there is a raven sitting up there on the roof with its eyes pointed down towards you too.
Is Kit still near me? I go,
All right, you head in. Kit, the raven like looks at you and does a caw.
I just narrow
Just
my eyes
stays
at
there.
it.
as they do.
I'm just staring at it. I'm just staring it down.
Yeah, great. Seleus, you walk in again. Same Orcus man comes in as the bell rings, dressed fairly well. Looks at you, goes, "Can I help you, sir?"
Yes. I'm here for any messages regarding Eldrith Van Amir.
He looks at you, and he pulls his glasses down a little bit, and he gives you a challenge phrase in Elvish.
Yeah.
So you have a response that you know for this.
Yes. Yeah, he instantly relaxes. The moon is always brightest.
And then he slides you a packet. There's an oilskin packet that's bound up with some string, and he hands it over. And as he hands it over, he holds it before you take it, and again in Elvish says, Some of these are time sensitive. Be safe. And he makes eye contact with you, and then he lets them go.
Thank you. Her will be done. And yeah, I just pocket it.
Yep.
And leave.
Yeah. So you're able to walk out. Kid, as the door opens, you glance back towards Laius, and then look up towards the roof, and the raven is gone.
You got what you needed?
I did. Did you say hello to your friend?
He disappeared.
I look up. They're watching you.
I don't know why.
Just to be clear, this was not the bird with teeth. This was the raven.
It's fine. In this party, we have a motto, and the motto is "Kill all ravens." That's
Kill
the new
all
motto.
birds.
Yeah, that's it. We're the bird killers. That's our party name.
Bird exterminators? No,
Oh,
I regret that. That should have been
Exterminators.
Nope.
We have to find a way to
as-
fit a bird pun into exterminators, but it's not there yet.
Yeah.
Workshop it.
As this is going on, and folks in the chat, feel free. I'll award tons of points to anyone that comes up with a good pun. But as it's going on, Essie, you do get a chance to open this letter from your father, and I'm not going to post or read out the full text to you, but I will share it in the between the scenes chat later. But what you've got here is a letter from your father where he's letting you know that he understands why you've left, and he's sorry that there were things that he was unable to share with you, and hopes that in time you'll understand. There are forces at play in Zadash and in the Empire that are truly dangerous and represent a threat not just to your family, but the Empire as a whole. And he's doing his best, but he needs to keep you isolated from that. Of particular note, he asks you, so he knows that you're going out to Isle Cross, and he wishes you luck in this journey. And he asks, and he says at this point, please, Essie, for yourself, for the family, stay away for a while. Things are dangerous here in Zadash. Dangerous for the family, and for you in particular. There have been rumors spread around that you are traveling with and associating with agents of the Kryn dynasty, and even that you've been seen with Drow.
I told you.
It is important. It is important that whatever business you have in Isle Cross, you do not return until you hear from me that it's safe. The buyer and his agents can get letters from me and to you, or to me and to you. So you can trust them to send letters through. And if need be, you remember our family cipher.
So I was literally going to ask, my family has always communicated through ciphers. Is there a hidden message that I can distinguish within this letter? Any hidden information, meaning? Is the letter itself a cipher, or is it just in common plain?
It's in plain text, yeah.
I'll look all over the letter, all over the envelope. I'll I'll do experiments to see if like there's any hidden text that pops up. She is like almost in panic mode right now. Like internally, she's just like everything she can do, she'll do.
Yeah. Nope.
She'll immediately sit down and start crafting a letter in return.
Great. Seleus and Kit.
We are continuing walking back.
So where do we go to find some sort of magic item? I don't know if you'd like to give this a try, but I did see signs of the criminal activity around here. There's a fence.
Oh, really?
There's a fence and a guild.
They do tend to know quite a bit about the seedy underbelly of any city.
Could go check it out if you're keen.
I am. Lead the way.
All right. Go check it out.
Yeah, just quick pause before you do. Seleus, when do you intend to get at the packet that you have there? Or is that something that you're going to save for later?
I was going to save it, but you know what? I could temporarily do a quick little peruse of it. Actually, I'll say, if you could give me a moment, Kit. And I'll go off to like just like a little area and go activate my darkness dome. My globe of darkness.
Right. It's
And
fairly large, and we'll make it impossible to read.
No, it won't. And I take it out because I can read.
Well, you can
in
see,
magical
but yeah, all right, I guess.
Yeah, I can see in magical darkness. This is my office.
Did you post a little sign outside? This is like
Yeah, put up a
Seleus
little
is
sign.
All right, so
out.
you're gonna go
Walk
back
10
to
feet away.
Okay. So you find some space. So in the alleys between the warehouses, you find a space where you are fairly isolated, and you will be able to do this somewhat subtly.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a walkthrough, but it's not far from where the Thieves Guild area is, which is just among docks and warehouses. So this area is a bit more built up.
Okay.
So you get into your packet, and there's a number of letters in cipher, but one that is marked as urgent lens business.
Yeah. I'm looking. That's the time sensitive one.
So you open it up, and it is a target packet, right? There is a lens agent here in Icehaven, a defector who plans to give dynasty secrets and lens secrets over to the Empire and to Cerberus in particular. They are in Icehaven now, and you are ordered to find them and kill them. They should be located at a lodge not far outside of town, like a little hunting lodge.
Okay.
A lodge not far outside of town. And you don't have a ton of time, right? They expect that this person's going to be transferred deeper into Cerberus custody within a week.
Are they already in Cerberus custody?
So they're in a Cerberus safe house, is what they say. And you are to kill them. You're to kill everyone at the site, and you are to destroy any documents found with them.
Okay.
Is that the
When you-
cowled person?
When you look through the target packet, you see a drow, this, that, and the other thing, and the first thing you notice is that they are a Valhai monk. So that is a monk from your own monastery. And then as you look at the enclosed picture, it is
No.
it is Declan. It is
It's
Declan Hess,
Declan. Okay.
the young monk who
Yeah.
you trained.
Oh, Declan, what have you done? Okay, so this is not good. This is not good. Declan is innocent. Okay. Yeah, so this is not
Are we
good.
gonna betray the lens, you guys? Like, is that gonna go down?
Well, it's a good thing we're getting off the continent. Yeah, I take it all up. I put it, I bundle it all up and put it back. Vroom. And when you see Soleus come out, he's
Soleus
kind
is
of
in.
like, "Come, let's go quickly."
Is
He's
everything
kinda-
okay?
Hardly, but no. Let's go check out this fence.
All right.
Lead the way.
Okay, we'll follow the symbols to wherever this place is.
Yeah, so you get some. Sorry, guys. I've
was
been waiting for
intense.
that one for a bit.
Just dropping
Um,
bombs over here.
So you.
Bastard.
I am so shook right now. I'm sorry. I'm so shook. Like, are we gonna just be? Who are we gonna betray? Everyone? Like,
We have to talk about this.
yeah. Like,
So,
is it? Oh.
you are walking through the alleys and you see some signs indicating where to go, and you get to a fairly worn down warehouse, and you go in through the warehouse, and as you get in, you see a person hidden back in the shadows. Like Soleus, you see them hidden back in the shadows watching. You can see they've got a crossbow, and they look at you as you walk in, but they don't say anything. Kit, you can see signs that point towards a little hatch. Again, still in Thieves' Cant.
Okay. Paula has no idea how to approach the Thieves Guild, but I'm imagining that Kit would know.
Reading the signs you've seen in Thieves' Cant, it is good practice to go follow the signs and continue moving and not dally.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in between the crossbow guy and Kit.
Okay.
So they have to shoot
Continuing-
past me.
Yeah, continuing to follow the sign, Kit, you get to the hatch, you pull it open, and you climb down a ladder. Soleus, noticing this guy and him noticing you, he seems to be watching, and as y'all go about your business, he doesn't seem to react very much, although he's clearly got his eyes on you.
That's a given.
You go down this ladder into a dirt and brick basement, and you end up getting into a warren of small, not more than 5-foot high tunnels. It is damp and it is musty down here. You can smell that kind of dirt, potato smell that old cellars get. Little nice touch of mold. And there's a number of places, little crossroads as you go. And again, Thieves' Cant indications about where to go. This place would be unnavigable if you didn't have this knowledge. After a few minutes of walking, you see an entrance. and there's a door, a very solid door at this entrance. You can hear a little bit of water moving from a distance.
It will proceed.
So you go up and you knock on the door, right? And it says again, 3 knocks, pause, 3 knocks, and nothing. Right? So you put in the prescribed sequence, and the latch, or the slot in the door opens, and someone looks out into the darkness, goes, "What do you want?"
I'll just say, I don't know. There's probably like some sort of code word for looking to buy something.
Yeah, you can speak in Thieves' Cant, so you can respond in Thieves' Cant, and the challenge is in Thieves' Cant.
Oh, okay. I will just say, looking for coins of the unseen hand.
Oh. And what do you have for offer?
Coins of the scene hand.
So, we'll just say, whispers in the dark.
Better add some coins to that if you want anything of value here.
Coins as well.
The latch closes, and you're left for a moment, and then you hear a number of locks and things being pulled from the other side. The door swings open, and you're looking at a fairly cavernous space. Right, it looks like it's probably 60 feet across. There's this bigger opening. It looks like there's a bit of a man-made cavern or man-made area attached to a natural cavern. Inside the natural cavern, there is the majority of it is filled with a big body of water. There is this area where you're on now, which is dirt, then goes up to a wooden kind of deck. And there's a couple different. There's a space where you see some stalls set up, almost as if at a market. You see an area off to the left with what looks like gear and crates, barrels, things like that stacked up. And then there are a number of little bridges that go over the waterway to various little platforms out there on the water, where there's some things out there. You see this fairly large dwarf, right? Real solid looking dude. And this is clearly the guy that greeted you. He's got some very aggressively bad breath. It's got some very aggressively bad breath that the door was able to block for you, but now it is right there and in your face. And he goes, who the hell are you two?
We're just 2 visitors from other cities looking for seeking lost treasures. Something we need to keep us from prying eyes.
Well, be 20 gold to get in, and then the guildmaster can decide if you're allowed to stay. He holds out his hand.
Is this pretty standard? Do I know if this is standard?
It's not cheap, but it's not unbelievable.
Okay. I'll hand over the 20 gold.
Okay. So he takes it and he looks over at, again, there was a figure standing in the shadow with a crossbow. He goes, grab Nikolai. They can chat with him.
Just nod.
Meantime, I'll take you somewhere you can sit, grab a drink. And he closes the door and spends a minute locking the various things on one of the little it's not islands, but they're little structures built over shallow parts in the water. And on one there's 4 tables, and there's some beer, some wine, some food kind of left out on the table that you're welcome to.
Don't suppose they have tea here.
Unlikely.
The guy just spits. He goes, no taken from anybody in the guild. But if
That's
Nikolai
fair.
approves you, you can sell stuff. You can find work here. And if Nikolai doesn't approve you, you ain't getting out of here alive.
Should just kind of grin a little bit, look over at Seleus. All right.
I hope we're
Alright.
appealing to Nikolai.
All right, and with that, we're going to cut back over to Essie and Zagrin. So, Essie, where did you go to write your letter? Were you down in the common room? Did you do it in your room?
Absolutely not. I was in my room. Yes.
Okay.
100%. She
Yeah.
starts a letter and then like gets angry and like crumples it up and throws it away, and then she'll like get out another piece of parchment and start writing a letter, and then just get angry like partway through at like doesn't think that it's worded right, and then she just starts another one and then just like pauses, and then she's just like been rereading the original letter, and then she'll eventually just like put her elbows on the table and put her head in her hands and almost like try not to hyperventilate for a moment alone in their room.
Yeah. So you're having a couple moments.
An existential crisis as I
Yeah.
realize that I've been trying so hard to not harm my family, and just the company that I am keeping is doing that very same thing. And yeah, it's not a good moment for her.
Zagrin, what are we up to?
Zagrin wakes up from his nap and summons Liam Nor. It's been a long time since he's been alone, whether it's with Seleus or more often before that, like the whole caravan, and just starts talking to it, talking to Liam Nor, and just being like, I hope you know where we're going. I hope that you have a plan. I think I've been pretty loyal, but I kind of expect some sort of input. At least an attaboy every now and again would do me all right, if you understand. And almost like just pleading and bargaining, maybe almost a little bit of whining, but talking to himself, but talking to Liam Nor, talking to the Luxon, just being Zagrin.
Yeah, Zagrin, you do get a feeling of reassurance from Liam Nor. Like you feel satisfied and at peace. There's no doubt that it doesn't communicate with you in words, right? But you get feelings and you get visions, and you feel like it feels like the right thing is happening, or you're in the right place or on the right path. It still has that sense of urgency that it had, that urgency that's been driving you this whole time. That's still there. There is something that you're moving towards, and you're not there yet, but you're on the path.
I do enjoy this game of hot or cold with you, friend, and thank you for the reassurance. It's comforting. And with that, I will dismiss it, and it vanishes again, and change myself back into an elf, put on my garb, and head downstairs for more food.
Yeah, you head downstairs and you see in the common room, right? So now it's towards early afternoon. See in the common room there aren't many folks, but Calamity is sitting up at the bar.
Yeah, I'll join Calamity then.
Is sitting up at the bar. As you come down, you actually see her turn back towards the bar, and a figure, one of the patrons gets up, also at the bar, but a little bit further down, gets up and starts heading out.
They were sitting together, and the patron left. Oh, okay.
No.
All right. All right.
He was at
I'll-
the bar, probably 3 or 4 stools down.
Okay. Yeah. I'll sit down next to Calamity.
Nice,
Enjoying
looks at you.
the hospitality.
I am. I have to tell you, until I got that bath, I didn't feel like a proper person.
I understand the feeling. There's only, even with the magic abilities we have to keep ourselves clean, there's nothing quite like actually cleaning yourself. I understand it. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Though we do have several weeks before we're expected to depart. Any plans on how you plan to spend your time while we're here?
Did you say weeks?
Unfortunately.
When's the... Oh. No, I have not made any plans yet. Can't say I know really anything about this part of the Empire.
It's a strange land to me as well. What can I say? The food hasn't been bad. Drink could use something to be desired, but all in all, it's a unique place we find ourselves.
Well, I just hope we get out of here before the ice shuts us in.
What is this about the ice?
Well, the port's only open half the year, right?
Oh, but I assumed with the current temperatures, it can't shift that much in 3 weeks, can it?
No, I'm sure 3 weeks will be fine, but we don't want to be here. We don't want to be here in late fall,
Yes, I hope to.
as I understand it.
That sounds about right. Yes, hopefully we're out of here well before it gets colder.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just going to keep getting colder from here.
Yes, unfortunately, I think warmth is. Well, this is the end of it here. You seem distracted, if I'm being frank.
She looks at you. She goes, this whole journey's taking me further and further from home. Every now and again, it's hard to remember. Hard to remind yourself why you do the things you do. It's, I know it's important, and I've wanted to travel with Essie for a long time, but I wonder sometimes, do I really want to head deeper into the north? Do I really want to be so far from the Empire? And I still worry about my sister.
Well, what is it that drove you to leave your sister before you ran into Miss Pike? You had already been at the caravan.
Tell me something about you first, Zagrin. What's driving you on this? What brings you from the Dynasty all the way, says that part quietly, from the Dynasty all the way to the heart of the Empire and then through to Islecross?
Well, stopping in the middle of the Empire would be the worst decision, wouldn't it? When you're going through hell, keep going.
She laughs. She goes, fair enough. Although in the middle, you'd find the tillage. That's a pretty nice place to be for anybody.
Interesting. Is that where you're from?
It is.
And
But I think we were talking about you, Zagrin.
I believe the arrangement was if I told you something, you would tell me something. You said I would go first, and I have.
Okay. So what do you want to know?
What is it that drove you from the tillage? What are you traveling towards? Or
Well,
from?
Not from, it's towards. Um, I started moving out here because there's word of a place for folks who are looking to make their fortune. Heading up north, getting into Isle Cross. They call them freebooters. And you get up there, and word is a capable person or a strong hand with magic. She smiles at you. Can make a pretty penny for themselves.
Yes, the desire for gold can be quite motivating.
And so, what made you leave the dynasty? What takes you to Isle Cross?
The dynasty's businesses, and again, I lower my voice. I'm assuming that there's no one around, right?
Yeah, the bartender's out cleaning tables,
Okay.
and otherwise
Yes.
the place is pretty empty. Yeah, lunch rush is over, and dinner folk haven't started coming in.
My homeland's business is multifaceted. We have our geopolitical dealings with the Empire, but we also have our spiritual dealings. And I believe it's the latter that calls me to travel past the battlegrounds of the ongoing war, the newly started war, and go to something else. I don't know what it is yet, but I know that I'm traveling in the right direction.
Doesn't tell me much, though, does it?
I wish I had more to share, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So some kind of spiritual calling, then?
I suppose that's the best way to explain it. You see, in my homeland, I'm someone of means and someone of power, but if I'm being completely honest, that power is quite limited by something stronger than even the forces of the dynasty itself. And that's the calling that I'm truly bound to. It's mine to
I
do,
see.
not to know. And therefore I merely do, but a civil servant of kind.
So you work for the dynasty direct, then?
Just nods.
Well, what did you want to know, then?
Your sister, was it? What is it that calls to you about her now? It seems that
Roll
more
me,
than mere
oh, sorry, go
it
ahead.
seems like more than mere homesickness that causes you your current plight.
Yeah, roll me an insight. You can tell, so just based on your passive insight, right? You can tell that she is being somewhat guarded in this conversation.
16.
Yeah, so you, at the mention of her sister, a look crosses her face, and then she changes to a fond smile. But there was something else there. You're not sure what it was, but there was something other than the emotion that she's putting on the surface. But then she goes back to that warm look. She goes, well, my sister's the only family I have left, and I love her and do anything for her, and I hope that by doing this I can provide for her.
And yet
You ever have that? Somebody that you had to provide for, had to care for?
I like to think that all of the entire dynasty is under my care. Not the sole responsibility, but it's not necessarily as an individual that I'm required or tasked to care for, but my people as a whole. Although I have to inquire, we've passed up multiple opportunities for coin. There's been lots of recruitment, job opportunities, and if it was mere the means to provide, why pass up those and travel to something less certain, something so far from home?
She looks at you. She goes, I think that's 2 questions.
Pick your favorite.
So you're on a holy mission, you say, for your homeland. Is that right?
Correct.
And what do you hope to find? Are you searching for artifacts? I see that you're representing your people. Now, you know, obviously, that the dynasty's at war with the Empire. Are you hoping to find weapons there? Or
If I'm
something
being
else?
honest, most of my callings and interactions with the ongoing conflict have been in attempts to engage in a ceasefire, to get a truce going. The war itself is not the primary motivator. If anything, it's been nothing but an obstacle. I don't believe it's weapons that I'm seeking so much as, and this is speculation, mind you, perhaps something that can aid my people in prospering and living longer. Not as a tool of death, but rather a new life to being able to offer to more and more of my people. At least, again, speculation says that perhaps a beacon might be there.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. So you wanted to know why I haven't stopped anywhere else. Well, being truthful, I don't think any of the opportunities that we've seen come near the chance to make the coin we can make at an Isle Cross. But more importantly, I've read stories of Essie and the Pikes and what they do and have done, and they're famous. And I believe that when I saw a chance to hook up with her and with all of you, I saw a chance to make a fortune and make a name. Roll me an insight check, please.
All right. 13.
Okay. You don't read anything beyond what's on the surface there.
Well, I must say that I have enjoyed your company both on the battlefield and off of it. And to the extent I can help you achieve your goal of fame and fortune, as long as we're traveling in the right direction, just know that I'll do everything I can to assist that.
Well, thank you, Zagran. I hope your holy mission is a success as well. I like the idea of peace myself. The war never seems to benefit any of the right people. If you know what I'm saying.
Resources are much better distributed to build rather than destroy. It's what I've always seen anyway.
Yeah. And when it comes down to it, you want, in a conflict like this, you want to be sure you stay out of the way of those who step on the rest of us for their victories.
Kind of chuckle and give her a little bit of an elbow and said, imagine you might have been stepped on more than once way down there.
She laughs and smiles. Well, all right. Let me see if I can't get another round. What do you think? Join me for a drink?
Of course. Thank you.
Yeah. Her cup's been empty this entire time that you've been talking. But she signals over to the bartender. And now we cut back over to Kit and Slayus.
In a
I
dirty
can't.
grotto
I
in the
was
Thieves
so
Guild.
shook this entire session.
Coming walking over to you, Kit and Slayus, as you're sitting here in this grotto. It does look like you do notice that there are some rowboats in there, and there's a little bit of a lighted exit off further down. It looks like there may be an alternate way out of this place, or at least one alternate way out of this place. There are also some other offshoots that are closed off with doors, and through one of those doors, and one of the walls around it, comes a group of about 5 folks.
And pointing out the exits.
Yeah, I'll clock the exit. Just
Pointing out the exits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way you came in, you have the 2 rowboats, and there's some other potential exits, but you have no idea what's in them. There are 5 folks. A couple of them look pretty heavy. Like these are bruisers. Like there's a very well muscled, totally bald guy with a many times broken nose, scars on his head, calloused and often broken knuckles, and a very a guy wearing leather armor, carrying a series of knives, and people like that. And then there's the guy in the center of the group. The guy in the center of the group is an older man. He has a cane, and he has a prosthetic left leg. And he walks out. He's got a bit of a hunch. He's got a pretty good sized gray beard. He's got hair. He keeps it longer on the top and very well styled, and the sides are cut close, but not down to the skin. And he looks pretty clean, pretty handsome. He's older, but he's kind of got like a bit of a silver fox vibe going on, and then he walks with a bit of a limp because of the prosthetic and the cane. And he goes over, goes, well, I can't say I've seen either of you 2 before. May I sit?
It's your place.
of course.
Thank you. And he pulls out a stool and sits down. It's like, and he taps his leg, I find standing too much unpleasant. Now, tell me, who are you? And why have you come to my place?
I'll just look over at Slayus and look back at the man. My name's Ket, and just traveling through and looking to purchase something for me and my crew for a bit of extra protection, a magical device. Normally don't go through the typical channels when I'm looking for something, so I thought I'd try here first.
Yeah, he eyes you. So Slayus, because you happen to have a really high passive insight, awesome by the way.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is suspicious. The guards around you are alert and paying attention, and not that it's super subtle, but there is a strong air of violence here. A misstep here will go very badly.
Mm-hmm.
When Kit says that she's looking for a magical item, you can see, you can't read it well on his face, right? But there's something kind of connects. Like there's a look in his eye, and he leans back a little bit. He goes, "That's interesting. You come looking for magic items. What sort of thing are you hoping to find?"
I'll look over at Slayus because I don't really know what I'm looking for, but Something to keep us hidden. Away from prying eyes.
Scrying. To be more specific.
It is possible I could find something. Help you in your particular use case. But first, tell me, why should I do business with strangers?
I'm not from here, and I don't know you. You don't know me. But I think we're of a similar sort. And I really don't want to get to know you. I just want to do business. Not looking for trouble either.
How long do you plan to stay here in Lyseven?
We've got passage out in, I think, 2 to 3 weeks.
I have a job for someone passing through.
We've got
You do this job,
particular skills.
I can imagine. Do this job for me, and I think I can find something to help with your problem.
What's the job?
I will have my friends watch you for a little, and then, if they like what they see, I'll give you more on the job. But first, I must know, do you fear to cross the Empire?
Fear?
This is no place for those without a strong stomach.
Soleus kind of like takes his mask and kind of like dips it. And he shows that he's a drow. And puts it back on.
You see Nikolai lean back, put his hands over his cane, and smile. Goes, I think we can find ways to do business. Go. I will have someone contact you.
Stand up and just give him a nod. Do a little hat tip. And where was he pointing to go? Like out the way we came, or?
Yeah, the exit you came through.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for your time.
Yes, thank you.
With luck, without knowing each other too well, we can be the sort of people who do business.
Does it seem like he? I don't know. Does it seem like he's being forthcoming, like that he actually would do business?
It absolutely does not seem like he's forthcoming. It does seem like he's very serious, however.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it does not look like he's bullshitting you, right?
Gotcha.
But he's hiding a ton of things.
Sure. But he's not. He's not. It doesn't seem like he's lying
He's not
about potentially doing business.
right. He's not lying about that. for
He's not
sure.
revealing a lot, but he's not being dishonest. Okay.
Right.
Okay. We'll make our way back out.
Yeah. Y'all head back and are able to return to the Rusty Cup if you like.
Mm-hmm. You are quite good at navigating your way around the thieves' language and culture.
Well, it's all I've ever known, really. So it feels quite comfortable for me.
It is incredibly useful, and I feel privileged to be able to have seen it firsthand.
I could teach you if you'd like. It's learnable. I don't know if it would come in handy for you or not, but
Essie's learning a new language. Mine as well.
right. I don't want to pry, but do you want to share what's going on with you?
I must admit, I was pleased that you had no interest in it. The fact that you have a slight interest is slightly concerning to me. I think this is something best I must take care of.
If you want to keep it a secret, I don't.
It's not
don't
what I
mind.
want.
I understand wanting to keep things private, but just know that if it's something you need help with, I'll be there to back you up. No questions asked. You don't even need to tell me what it's about.
Miss Kit, I somehow believe that you like having eyes upon you. This would only bring negative attention, I'm afraid. Your involvement, I mean. This is Len's agency. It is terrible and all-encompassing. I will see. I will scope out the situation.
I definitely don't like being watched. I hope it doesn't bring you any trouble. That's not my intention. I'll stay out of your business.
I mean, just this small bit of business. Don't trouble yourself over it. I shall get it done. And I shall deal with it and then be back to the rest of the group in no time.
Okay.
I appreciate this, though. Thank you.
Sure.
Sorry, guys. You make your way back to the inn, the Rusty Cup, and as you do so, or as you get there, you find Zagrin, Essie, and Calamity. They're just getting ready to sit down for dinner, as this afternoon's taken you the better part of the afternoon. What would y'all like to do?
I'd like to question. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say it would have taken Essie quite some time to come out of her room. But finally, as they were sitting down for dinner, like, she again barely greeted Zagrin and Calamity or acknowledged them, and she's just sitting like with her elbows on the table, just like staring off into the distance as they come up.
Essie. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
she'll, for a half a second, she'll give him a very annoyed look that he hasn't seen maybe ever from her to this extent, and then her features will like smooth out again. Sorry, I'm sorry. What's up? How did it go?
It went well. We made a few discoveries. I would like to ask you a question. What could you tell me about the Cerberus Assembly?
Did you say what can I tell you about the Cerberus Assembly, or what have I told you about the Cerberus?
No, what can you tell me?
Well, I mean, how deeply do you want me to talk to you about? Like surface level or further than that? I do know that they're a group of extremely powerful mages. Of course, you know that they're from the Dwendalian Empire. They're mostly centered in Rexentrum, but scattered throughout the continent. They're just really, really powerful mages. They sort of balance out the royalty of the Dwendalian Empire. They're a very powerful force. They're not ones to be reckoned with, to be perfectly honest with you.
And they desire information?
Well, have you ever met a wizard before?
So, just for as you do this, Zagrin, you and Calamity you've been hanging out, and Calamity's been drinking, as she likes to do when given the chance.
Oh, shit.
And at the point of they desire information, you see her like scoff. Just keeps drinking.
Calamity, you want to weigh in on this?
No. They desire information. Everything else they can get their hands on.
The official thought behind the Cerberus Assembly is that they keep the crown in check, right? Because obviously any force that has nothing to keep them in check eventually becomes corrupt. So the whole thought behind the Cerberus Assembly is that they keep the crown in check, but they have become more and more and more powerful, and then there's thoughts of who keeps the Cerberus Assembly in check. Well, that's usually known as the Cobalt Soul, is directly, seemingly antagonistic as far as all three forces seem to try to keep each other in check most often in the Empire. But
so it's safe to say that they would be they'd be very interested in dynasty secrets.
They'd probably be interested in secrets from any source.
Right.
Secrets, knowledge, knowledge is power. I know that, you know that. The more knowledge you have, the more powerful you become. And they're already a very powerful organization. So, yeah, of course they'd want dynasty secrets. Who knows? She'll look around, lower her voice. Who knows if maybe they have people inside the dynasty? I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracies.
As you're giving your talk there, Calamity is looking at you like you have a horn growing out of your forehead.
Looking at me?
Yes. Yeah.
Calamity, I really feel like you might have something to add to this conversation.
Listen, I can tell you a little bit about the Cerberus Assembly. The important thing to know is that we'll be back next Saturday from 1 to 4.
Oh, no. Calamity, is that you? No.
Calamity breaks the third wall.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for playing. This has been amazing, folks. If you're watching, thank you so much for watching. If you're not watching, you're not hearing me. So for those that watched, great seeing you. Thank you so much. We'll be back next Saturday from 1 to 4 Central Time. Join us. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you, everybody.
Yes.